does not end.
What would happen though?
Keeps on going east.
People turn back.
Turn around.
You will circle the globe. You will go around. But at no point in time would you have changed direction. You will always be going east. If you go west, the same thing will happen. You keep going west, eventually you'll circle around and come back where you started. And you're still going west. Alright. What if you started to go north? What would happen? If you leave Toronto right now, you check the 401 and head north, what would happen eventually? And then when the 401 ends, or the 400 ends, I don't know, take a snowmobile or something and keep going north, what would happen? You'll go north, and eventually you'll hit the North Pole. And then you keep going, what would happen? You will start to come south. And if you keep going south, you will reach the South Pole. And then you swing around and you start going north. So these two directions, north and south, are finite. They have an end. While east and west, they have no end. And he suggests in his book that perhaps this is why Allah always talks about east and west. He never mentions north and south. Because remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is infinite. And these two directions are infinite directions. And that is more sort of in sync with the relativity of Allah, as we might say, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in that everything about Him is infinite. So that's how the Qibla was changed. There are a few other things we need to talk about, but I will stop here. Because it's already almost 8:15 and we want some time for questions and answers. And you know, every time I come to these sessions, and I say, well, we have 40 minutes, that's a lot of time. What are we going to talk about in 40 minutes? And then we start to discuss these things, and the next thing you know, the time just flies like that. So inshallah, I'll stop here. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless all of us. And He will open our hearts and minds so that we can understand what we learn. And that we would be inspired by this, to live by this message. So I will leave the floor open for questions until it's time for Isha, inshallah, or the Adhan of Isha. So if you have questions written down, send them up front. If you haven't written them down, get a piece of paper, write them down and send them up front. Or perhaps, brothers, if you have any questions, you can stand up and ask them. Go ahead.